Let's get right into it. Number 1. Contagious weirdness. Picture this. You're sitting in a meeting, desperately trying to stay awake while your boss drones on about quarterly projections that sound suspiciously like a Gregorian chant. Suddenly, someone across the table yawns, and like dominoes, the whole room starts opening their mouths like bored baby hippos. Welcome to the creepy world of contagious yawning. Scientists once thought yawning was just about oxygen, like your body was some underpaid intern reminding you, hey, maybe breathe more. Spoiler, that theory has been trashed harder than your high school mixtape. Instead, contagious yawning is tied to empathy. Yup, yawning is basically your brain's awkward way of saying, I feel you, bro. When you see someone yawn, mirror neurons in your brain light up like a Christmas tree and trick you into yawning too. But here's the disturbing part, not everyone's susceptible. Research shows people with stronger empathy, think nurses, dog lovers, and that one friend who cries at Pixar movies are more likely to yawn when others do. Meanwhile, people on the lower end of the empathy scale, they'll just stare at you mid-yawn like you're auditioning for a horror movie. And it's not just humans, dogs catch our yawns, monkeys too. Which means your pet Labrador yawning back at you isn't just cute, it's basically proof that he gets you on a deep emotional level, deeper than some exes, let's be honest. So yeah, yawning is less I need air and more, hey, I'm part of your squad. Next time someone yawns and you follow along, just know you've been peer pressured into an empathy cult. Number 2, brain cooling system. Imagine your brain as a laptop that's been running 37 Chrome tabs, Spotify, and a 3-hour YouTube conspiracy video all at once. Eventually, that sucker overheats, enter yawning. It's not boredom, it's air conditioning for your brain. Neuroscientists think yawning helps regulate brain temperature. When you yawn, you stretch your jaw, increase blood flow, and suck in cooler air that circulates around your skull. Basically, it's like hitting your head with a mental ice pack. Here's where it gets extra weird. Yawning happens more in situations where brain overheating is likely. You're stressed yawn. You're overthinking at night yawn. You've been gaming for 6 hours straight in a dark room fueled only by Doritos and regret you're practically the yawn king. But this theory explains some of the strange when and where patterns of yawning. For example, people yawn more in summer than winter because hot brains need more cooling. Soldiers have even been seen yawning before combat. Not because they're bored of war, but because adrenaline and stress fry the noggin like an egg. So when you yawn in class, maybe you're not being lazy, it's your brain screaming, I'm overheating from too many boring PowerPoints. Still doesn't make it less insulting to the teacher though. Yawning, it's not just contagious, it's your brain's version of fanning itself dramatically while whispering, ugh, I can't even. Number 3, the predator trick. If you think yawning makes you look harmless and sleepy, nature disagrees. Across the animal kingdom, yawning is less I'm tired and more check out these teeth, punk, lions, baboons, even guinea pigs, yeah. The cute squeaky ones all yawn as a threat display. It's like flexing, but with your face. Now imagine our ancient ancestors. A caveman sitting by the fire lets out a big yawn, showing his full set of teeth. That wasn't I'm sleepy. Guys, that was see these, yeah. I can bite through your femur if you steal my mammoth steak. Some scientists think humans may have inherited part of this behavior. Yawning could have been a primal intimidation move before it got watered down into today's socially awkward tick. Which explains why you sometimes yawn in tense situations. Your lizard brain is dusting off an old intimidation manual. Too bad your coworkers just think you're bored. And get this, even fish yawn to show dominance. Fish, that means somewhere in the ocean. Nemo is flashing his jaws to assert dominance while you're over here struggling not to yawn during a Zoom call. So yeah, your casual yawn might actually be the weak fossil of an ancient battle cry. These days, instead of scaring predators, it just makes you look like you stayed up binge-watching reality TV. Evolution really dropped the ball on that one. Number 4, your sleep switch picture, your brain as that one annoying roommate who never turns off the lights. Even when you're lying in bed, begging for sleep, your neurons are still having a rave. Yawning might just be the awkward bouncer that tells them, okay guys, last call, wrap it up. Some sleep scientists believe yawning acts as a transition signal, a switch between alertness and drowsiness. It shows up when you're about to wake up, when you're trying to fall asleep, and especially in those, oh God, why did I stay up watching documentaries about serial killers at 3 a.m. moments? It's basically your body saying, look, buddy, we're shutting down soon whether you like it or not, which explains why yawning often feels uncontrollable. You can't just decide not to do it. Try holding back a yawn and you'll look like you're about to sneeze your soul out. And here's the kicker, sleep-deprived people yawn way more. No shocker there. But the real fun fact is, yawning doesn't actually make you less tired. It's like the placebo button on an elevator. It makes you feel like you're doing something, but really, you're still doomed. So when your boss catches you yawning at 10, you can just say, no, Karen, I'm not bored. My brain is in the middle of a software update. Number 5, awkward social cue. Ever notice how yawning shows up at the worst possible times? Job interviews, funerals, dates where the other person is passionately describing their stamp collection. Yawning isn't just biological, it's social sabotage disguised as biology. Some anthropologists think yawning developed as a way to communicate non-verbally. Back when words weren't invented yet, a yawn might have been the original group chat notification. If one cave dude yawned, the others would know it was time to rest, hunt, or just stop talking about rocks for a while. Fast forward to today, and yawning is still a signal, only now it's ruder. In social settings, people interpret it as boredom, even though it could just be your brain running maintenance. That's why politicians and CEOs get roasted whenever they're caught yawning on camera. It's less I'm tired and more I just ended my career in one photo. Fun fact in some cultures, yawning is considered so impolite that people literally cover it like they're hiding state secrets. Meanwhile, in others, it's shrugged off as, yeah, we all got brains to cool. The global yawn etiquette is as confusing as chopstick rules at a sushi place. Bottom line, a yawn might be your body's way of saying, I'm recalibrating, but to everyone else, it's just your face betraying you. Congratulations, you've just accidentally told the whole room they're boring. Number 6, the pain connection. Here's a curveball, yawning and pain might be besties. Some studies suggest yawning can reduce physical discomfort, or at least distract you from it, like when you stub your toe and suddenly find yourself yawning, as if your body's trying to switch the channel. It's linked to dopamine, the same chemical that makes you feel good after eating pizza or finishing a Netflix season in one sitting. Dopamine regulates both pleasure and pain, and yawning appears to ride that same chemical highway. In hospitals, patients with migraines, multiple sclerosis, or even Parkinson's often yawn excessively before or during painful episodes. Some scientists think it's the body's way of trying to self-soothe or balance brain chemistry when things go haywire. So next time you yawn in the dentist chair, maybe it's not boredom, maybe it's your brain's version of popping bubble wrap while someone drills into your molar. Doesn't exactly help the pain, but hey, at least you look relaxed. In other words, yawning isn't just about sleep, it's basically your body's free trial version of pain management. Too bad the trial expires after 10 seconds. Number 7, oxygen myth, busting for decades. The go-to explanation for yawning was that your brain was suffocating. Like, oh no, not enough oxygen. Quick, open the mouth. Let's top up the tank teachers even used to toss this around like gospel truth. And it sounds nice, right? Simple, logical, totally wrong. When scientists actually tested this, they found oxygen levels in the blood don't really change when you yawn. Breathing harder doesn't make you yawn more, and holding your breath doesn't stop yawns. It's like discovering Santa isn't real except instead of presents. You just get existential dread. The myth stuck around because it was easy to repeat, and let's face it, people love a neat little answer, but the reality is way messier. Yawning is more about the nervous system, body temperature, and weird social bonding than any kind of oxygen tank refill. So yeah, next time someone smugly says, you're yawning because your brain needs oxygen, feel free to crush their soul with science. Bonus points if you do it mid-yawn for maximum drama. Because really, if yawns were about oxygen, marathon runners would basically be yawning their way across the finish line like exhausted walruses. They don't. Case closed. Number 8, weird timing glitch. You've probably noticed yawns strike at the weirdest times. Not when you're fully asleep, not when you're fully awake, always in the in-between zone, like your body's buffering. That's because yawning seems to be triggered by state changes in your brain. Think about it. You yawn when you wake up, when you're about to fall asleep, when you're shifting from bored to focused, or even when you're nervous before doing something big. It's like your brain's way of saying, please hold. We are currently rebooting your consciousness. This also explains why yawning shows up during anxiety. Ever been about to give a speech and suddenly felt like a bored toddler at nap time? That's your nervous system hitting the reset button. It's awkward, but it's actually your brain trying to stop you from panicking too hard. Pilots, soldiers, even Olympic athletes report yawning in stressful moments, not because they're tired, but because their bodies are flipping through emotional radio stations and can't decide on the channel. So if you've ever yawned right before a big test, it wasn't laziness. It was your nervous system doing a janky Windows 95 reboot while you're trying to be serious. Number 9. When yawns attack. Here's the most disturbing part. Sometimes yawning goes rogue. There are medical conditions where people yawn excessively, like dozens of times an hour, with no connection to tiredness. It's called pathologic yawning, and it can be a symptom of neurological issues. Stroke patients, people with brain tumors, or folks on certain medications sometimes report unstoppable yawning fits. And in those cases, yawning isn't just embarrassing, it's a literal warning sign that something's misfiring upstairs. There's also the freaky case of vagus nerve involvement. That's the big nerve highway running from your brain down through your chest and gut. If it gets irritated, bam, sudden yawning spree, which sounds harmless. But when a nerve linked to your heart and lungs is acting up, it's basically your body's way of saying, yo, something is very, very wrong. Doctors even study yawning patterns in patients as diagnostic clues. Imagine walking into the ER, yawning like crazy, and instead of giving you a coffee, the doctor's like, possible brain lesion, not exactly comforting. So yeah, while you're out there catching yawns from your dog, just remember sometimes it's not cute. Sometimes it's your nervous system waving a red flag. Number 10. Yawns across species. Humans don't own yawning. It's practically a universal animal subscription service. Birds do it, reptiles do it, even fish do it. Somewhere in the ocean right now, a goldfish is probably yawning at your lack of attention. The wild part is, yawns mean different things depending on the species. For some animals, it's intimidation like we talked about with lions flashing their saber-tooth grin. For others, it's just a casual I'm comfy signal. And in some species, it's synchronized behavior, kind of like the animal kingdom's version of a flash mob. Monkeys are a great example. They'll yawn together as a form of bonding, which is both adorable and terrifying, because a row of baboons yawning at the same time looks like a scene from a horror film. Dogs, on the other hand, don't just catch yawns from other dogs, they catch them from humans too. If your pup yawns after you do, congratulations, you and your dog just shared an empathy handshake. What's spooky is how ancient yawning must be. If reptiles, mammals, birds, and fish all do it, that means this behavior has been around for hundreds of millions of years. Imagine some prehistoric amphibian yawning on the shore while inventing lungs. That's how old this thing is. So next time you yawn, just know you're participating in one of the oldest traditions on Earth. Forget pyramids and cave paintings. The real shared human heritage is collectively opening our mouths like confused Muppets. Number 11. The yawn paradox. Here's the kicker for all the studies, theories, and hours of scientists watching people yawn on slow motion video. We still don't fully know why yawning exists. Every explanation, brain cooling, empathy, state change, pain relief makes sense in pieces, but none of them tie it all together perfectly. It's one of those weird biological leftovers that refuses to give up its secrets, like why we get goosebumps, or why your brain remembers every embarrassing thing you've ever done but can't recall where you put your keys. And that's why yawning is so disturbing. It's not just, oh, I'm tired. It's this multi-purpose Swiss Army knife of biology, part empathy, part cooling system, part ancient predator flex, and yet, it's still a mystery. Scientists joke about this all the time. You can sequence the human genome, send rovers to Mars, build AI that writes your college essays, but ask, Why do we yawn and suddenly it's all shrugs and grant proposals? So the next time someone yawns and you yawn back, don't feel silly, feel existential. You're joining in on a biological glitch older than civilization, still unsolved after centuries of study. Honestly, that's way creepier than being bored in class. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.